Hello, welcome back to another episode of What's Up Doc. Today, I am addressing mental health. Just group of thoughts and feedback from what we are seeing in our facility and from patients coming in talking about mental health, whether sharing with us stories about family members or friends that they're going through the struggle and the challenge of mental health. Unfortunately, the age bracket that I'm seeing suffering the most with that challenge is between age 22 and actually even 16 through like 25. And I'm not sure where did we go wrong as the older generation, which is my generation, Gen X, who are basically the parents of these kids that has a 22-year-old or the 24-year-old. I'm not sure why. A couple of things, thoughts that comes through my observations are that they are almost like they're lost. They're lost into the abyss of trying to fit in society, and also they are lost in a way that the loss of knowledge of how to deal with life and how to deal with stressful events or conflict or tension or even just challenges, putting life plan, putting a goal for themselves, where they want to be, how they're going to get there. But that's not it. The problem is when things change on them, when life throws a big surprise that was not calculated in their plan, or they were not anticipated to happen. They're busy and distracted trying to get the goals achieved, whether buying a house or a career, education, school, starting a family. But they don't have the tools or the means for some reason to deal or decipher what's happening around them. And I talked to a lot of them about that, and I'm trying to understand where is the lack of, whether it's obviously lack of life experience, because if you don't have life experience, it's hard for you to pull from something that you don't have. You can't pull from the experience like, this happened to me and that's what I did and that worked. The other thing is they are mentally and emotionally isolated in one sense, but in the other sense, they're constantly connected. It's so weird. They're connected with social media so much, but they are disconnected with, like I said, our generation. They don't want to hear what we have to say. They don't want to hear what we can offer as far as an experience. And most of the time when I have that conversation with a young, 22-year-old, they say, oh, you don't understand what I'm going through. Or they tell me, oh, you had your life, it was easier back then, or it was more convenient back then. But I'm not sure if that's correct, true, because like I said in my other videos, we didn't have the phone, the accessibility of information as fast as they do. We didn't have the cell phones that can save the day or text somebody or call somebody to come pick us up. We just had to wait and figure it out. And sometimes that makes me think maybe the lack of thinking outside the box and the fact that they have everything, the answers are right there all the time. That might be the issue with when they deal with reality and life throws something at them, that they don't have the answer for it right away or immediate answer for it. So I don't know what the solution is, and it makes me really sad because a lot of them are struggling, a lot of them are suffering. Like I said, they're lost. And I mentioned this in my other video. It almost like COVID magnified the effect, or magnified the pattern for that generation, because we ended up spending a lot of time with them in isolation, and we had to sit down and talk about things because there's not much was going on, you know, like people actually took the time. Life stopped, or life slowed down so much. A lot of people ended up spending time talking about these things, and realizing that, you know, we are struggling. And again, I don't know where the solution is. I don't know what the answer is. All I can do as a Gen Xer is to offer my experience and let them know that, oh, this happened to me, and this is what I did, this worked, and this didn't work. Or, you know, share some kind of like a wisdom, you know, life experience wisdoms, as far as, you know, it's okay, that's going to happen to you. It's just a matter of you coming out of it a little bit healthier, and or brushing it off, or get up and keep going, or, you know, just a lot of encouragement, a lot of motivations to help them move on. They're very anxious to like buy the house, like I said, to start life. I want this, and I think part of it because of social media. They spend so much on social media, and they compare, and they see other people achieving so much so fast. But to me, that's not what life is. Life is a long sequence of events that you have to live through it in order for you to enjoy it. You need to learn from it. You need to be in the moment, experience the struggle, experience the challenges, in order for you to move on and build on that too. And that what makes you who you are, that what makes you, you know, that makes your character and your personality. Then you start, you know, tackling certain things in life in a better way, because you have experienced, you know, certain challenges. But it's almost like they don't want to experience challenges. I don't want challenges. I'm very uncomfortable. It's too stressful. It's too hard. It's not easy. It's a lot of not victimizing. It's just a lot of like, poor me, you know. But that's life. Life is not a video game. Life is not a Instagram. Life is not Facebook, that you can actually punch something in, it's like, and spits out. It's like, oh, there's an image for you, or this, you could do this, you can buy that. I mean, don't get me wrong, internet and social media helped a lot of people go through a lot of their life struggles if you join like a certain group of people, and you share your experiences, you learn from them. But that's the same thing as sitting down with somebody that has the same experience or previous experience, and they're trying to, you know, shed a light on, you know, some solutions or some options that you can do to cope. And that becomes your tool, you know. Collect the tools in your toolbox in order for you to say, oh, I know what to do. That tool works for that, or that tool works for this. But I don't know, I'm seeing it more and more from, you know, talking to parents, talking to patients that has friends' kids that going through it. And it's really serious. It's very sad, because these kids are getting to the point that depression and anxiety, that they are crippled and they are very dependent on their parents. And what worries me is if the parents becomes the caregiver for these kids and young people, you know, what if something happens to the parents? Where do those kids, you know, what do they do? Where do they end up? Who's going to take care of them? So anyways, I thought I'll put that out there for whatever it's worth. And this is really a serious global challenge, I think, for the next generation. And remember, the generation that's struggling right now is the generation that's going to become a parent. and grandparents for the new generation. So I can go on and on and on. Anyway, we're out of time. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.